Hello, and welcome to Marathon Swim Stories, where we explore the human side of the superhuman feats of endurance swimmers and those who support them. I'm marathon swimmer and coach Shannon Keegan. In today's deep dive episode, we caught up with Janine Serell for part 2 in the 4-part series of Janine's Journey to Tahoe. If you haven't already, be sure to listen to part 1, where we talked about why she signed up to swim the length of Tahoe and her strategy for tackling the training. This time around, we caught up with her after a recent training swim on the beautiful Lake Jocassee in South Carolina. How a calf cramp took her out of the game and what she intends to do to get through if it happens again. The fact that she's taking her training on the road as she heads north for the summer, and what she's looking forward to in the weeks ahead. I hope you enjoy catching up with Janine as much as I did. All right, Janine, part 2, Journey to Tahoe. How's it going?
I just swam 10,000 in a pool, so I'm not sure. It's going good. No.
Okay.
I feel positive about my, potential to do this. Yeah, I'm still making forward progress.
Okay. Well, tell us about your training run at Jocassee, Lake Jocassee, right?
First of all, it's a stunning, stunning lake to swim in. So anybody who's looking for a place to train, since it looks like a lot of the spring events aren't going to even happen next year going forward on the East Coast, Jocassee is beautiful. So I got started the first 4 hours I spent with a new paddler. Thank you, Melinda, for introducing me to Danielle.
Yay.
Her paddler up there, and she was great. And it was easy and smooth and felt great. And we swam to the waterfall and it was beautiful. And then we flipped off and my friend Brian got in and he was paddling for me. And about hour 6, I got a massive calf cramp.
Oh no.
I really don't like.
No, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I really need to get a better handle on this because I feel like I'm drowning every time it happens. I have no other way of saying this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were near a rock wall. And so we kind of, I don't know, moseyed there, and I stood with my feet on the one of the rocks below the water line and just sort of stretched it out and then swam for another hour. But it's so, like your calf is killing you. It just feels like somebody knifed it. And I literally didn't kick the next hour. Not that I kicked a whole lot to start with, but you have this thing hanging over your head that feels like it's going to happen again at any moment. And so I decided to call it a day. The purpose of a training swim is to tell you what you need to work on. And I'll tell you, after 7 hours, my body felt fine. Like I wasn't sore. I wasn't, I probably went 10 miles. So I'm sort of in the right pace.
Yeah.
Feet sweat. Well, like there's some reasons why I think I cramped too. So 2 things. I got to figure out what to do when it happens. And there's some pregame activities that probably I could have done a lot better.
Oh, okay.
I didn't, I tapered. Basically, that turned into not swimming. It wasn't really tapering, like sitting around.
Right.
One day I went back and looked at, I was over 20,000 steps.
Oh, okay. So you weren't actually stopping.
Right.
Okay.
I just didn't swim. So remind myself that tapering is a little more than not swimming. It's relaxing and doing nothing. And so that was one thing. I think I went into the swim dehydrated.
That's no good, right?
So I didn't, I felt like I was drinking enough, but I don't use a clear bottle. I don't know what I'm taking in.
Right.
I've always been able to do it by feel, but I just think I went into it dehydrated. And the reason I say that is that evening after dinner, before I went to bed,
Mm-hmm.
Um, my friend Susan Kirk was there, and two of us were like up all night. And I think I drank 4 water bottles.
Oh, really? Right. Before bed. Oh,
Didn't
okay.
didn't pee in the middle of the
Yeah.
night. So that
Yeah.
kind of says, your body was really looking for more than it got.
Yeah.
So I think I went into it like not even just during the swim. I think I started out sort of. I didn't do those two things very well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but other than that, like it was a I felt good because it was a training swim and it taught me, what I need
Drink.
to work
Yep.
on in the
Yep.
next 10
Exactly.
weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm going to try hot shots and mustard.
Oh.
Just, for when it actually happens. And I think I can force it to happen in a pool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I can try it, see if the remedies work for my body. I've
Mm-hmm.
talked to some people and the other thing is start maybe taking magnesium.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you do an electrolyte replacement while you're swimming?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the other thing I don't. So yes, but I was putting 1 tablet in a 20-ounce bottle,
Oh,
and I was
okay.
probably drinking 6 ounces of it. So not mixing
Not
it
enough.
anywhere
Okay.
near enough. Um, it was a nice day. Let's see. The water temperature was 65, and it wasn't hot. It wasn't
Mhm.
cold outside, so it swam. I mean, the nice part is it really swam like Tahoe.
That's good.
The water temperature it has the same feel. It's very deep. It's cold. Um, yeah, it was overcast. Actually, it was overcast. So it wasn't like I was sweating out a lot because, it was 90 degrees and sunny out. It wasn't.
Were you like kicking harder maybe because the water was a little chillier or anything like that?
I
I'm
think
just
so.
stabbing in the dark now.
I
Okay.
really don't. I
Yeah.
kick enough for a little. I kick like a 2 beat with rotation.
Yeah.
Brian said that when I stopped kicking for that last hour, he thinks I swim better without kicking, which could be true. So you never know.
Um, I was thinking like when the water is a little on the chilly side, I can get like tight hip flexors. And I was just that's kind of what I was asking about if you're like, I don't know. Sometimes the cold that, it does different things to your body. Like you don't think you're thirsty. You don't think, as much. So but you still have to do that replenishment. It's hard.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do some stuff like maybe use a clear bottle for the electrolyte feeds.
Yeah.
Because I usually do feed with electrolytes with a goo and then my other feeds. So yeah, I got some stuff to do there and stretching.
Yeah.
I'm really good about stretching from the waist up. Right.
Right. But these other parts of these things, yeah.
But I don't really kick very much, and yeah, so I have to do some stuff with my calves and my feet in general. So
Yeah.
but oh, and the other thing that sort of came out of it was I decided I'm not going to end wet, which I was planning on going to for a training swim, but I decided I would probably be better served going up to Vermont and just, doing a double or triple in Willoughby and just swim in something cold and
beautiful. Not that North Dakota isn't beautiful. But
I said to somebody, I'm like, Jocassee, my 3 tops now are Jocassee, Willoughby, and Tahoe. Like,
yeah,
they all swim the same. They can, like the wind. We went into Jocassee, I don't know if it was like Wednesday, it must have been Wednesday or Thursday. There was white caps on the lake and probably 2-foot swells. It was crazy. So it can giddy up there too.
Yeah. That's
Willoughby. I'm sure that you may have had that experience.
Yeah. Willoughby is an interesting beast. It's perfect though, like you said, for training.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, like you said, you go into a training swim, you want to learn something, you learn some things.
I did. And it's stuff I can work on, and I'm 10 weeks out. So that was the whole, that's what I did it for. Whether I swam for 12 hours or I only swam for 7, I'm fine with that. I've been doing it long enough to know that like I'm in good shape for going long. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think I'm going to swim 16 or 18 hours and not feel it. But,
Mhm.
you know, it's going good. When I said to my coach, I was like, yeah, when I first started seeing the 40,000 meters weeks, or just basically I started seeing 10,000 meters in the pool training. And I was like, oh my God, I've never done that. I've never done that before. And now, you know, I've had weeks where I've done 2. One week I even did 3 of them in 1 week. So
Wow.
it's not fast and it's not hard and I'm not out of breath when I'm doing it, but you know,
Just
it's
putting in
all
the
day long.
time. Yeah.
So that's working super well.
Yeah. Yeah. There's good little mental hurdle. Well, just the not having done it before, not wanting to do it in a pool. These are all great reasons to push through. Be like, okay, we're doing it.
And now it's kind of like I have some personal stuff going on, so I can only swim 4 days this week, and I'm looking at I may just do 4 10,000s in a row
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just, you know, not break myself doing it, but it's no longer, you know, it's another hurdle passed or milestone
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, this is now a norm that doesn't feel, except for, you know, finding whatever the 3.5, 4 hours that you can.
Right. Right. Finding the time. Right. But other than that, you're like, okay, I've got the time. Let's do it. Let's do another 10K. Yeah, for sure. Do you get fun workouts from your coach, or do you just kind of put in the time and the distance?
Hmm.
Or
Yeah, some of
or
them are.
mix it up? Just
Yeah, most of them are fun. You know,
I
it's
guess
always
fun when it's a 10K workout. I mean, that's kind of subjective,
right.
right?
So it's like one of the ones on a regular basis that comes through is like swim an 800, then swim 8 100s. Do that 4 times through. And but at least it breaks it up and it makes me swim, like I'll swim the hundreds to the clock
Yeah.
and you know the 800s I'll just swim.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, but yeah, it's always a balance between it all. It is interesting. If I look at my past training, I probably spent more time with poles and paddles.
Oh,
And
right.
now you know, so toys, I don't see toys till I'm like 80% done. Then it's
Mhm.
so like, oh, now you can swim with some pull and paddle. And I'm like, oh, yay.
Yeah.
Yay. But she always almost like those kind of days almost always end with a shoot, which I've never used a shoot before either.
Oh,
So
really? Well, tell us about a shoot.
yeah, it's an evil thing. You attach it to your waist, and mine probably has a square that's probably maybe 12 or 14. I don't know exactly. And if you've ever seen me swim, I have yet to see what I look like swimming with a chute, but I'm sure like it's almost a cartoon because my arms can spin as fast as they can, and I'm just making little tiny progress.
Mhm.
Um, but it's it's another one of those things. And at the end of it's good mental training
Yeah.
because at the end of the swim is where you have to dig deep.
Yep.
Right? And so I think that uh, she puts them there because at the end of this, I'm probably gonna have to dig deep. So
Yeah.
doing a couple hundred with a chute on at the end of a 10K seems reasonable now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I agreed.
Do you have any other, like, do you get to balance pool and open water, or you just stick into the pool? What are you looking at going into the mid in May into June?
Oh, so going forward, I'm gonna I'm gonna spend some time. I'm gonna go up to. I'm doing the 10-miler when the clubhouse swims in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try and find somebody. I think I have a candidate to go up. There's a place called Mashapog, which is a state park in Connecticut. It's on the border of like Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, it's maybe 2 or 3 miles across, and it's a great place to just, you know, train.
Do laps.
So yeah, that's good. I have some friends who have boats And so maybe I'll do a day in the Long Island Sound. I'm still sort of debating that. I'll go out to Montauk. I'll do some stuff. There's a Lake Montauk, which really isn't a lake. It's more of a bay. I'll do some training out there. June and July, I move. Actually, I'm moving next week. So June and July is a lot of where can I get it done? And also New York still has
pool restrictions, right?
Yeah, you can go in, but I think the longest session you can get is 1 hour and 15, but you're not signing up. You just show up.
Oh, wow.
And then you can get out of the pool and wait for the next session to open up and you can go back in again. So that's
tricky.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll go out to Coney Island, go out to Brighton Beach and do some laps out there. There's always people. For me though, it's got to be like 62. I'm not, and they're still in the 50s there.
They're 50,
That's the other thing. I got to kind of wait till I can't go long and super cold.
Right. But yeah. It's good for keeping that. I feel like there's this balance you have to try to reach with, you need the distance, but you need the cold tolerance too. So I feel like I guess for me, I balance technique work, and distance days with like technique days, but then you balance cold too. So it's like
open water and pool. So
yeah.
I think that there'll be some days, I talked to my coach and I think there'll be some days where I do, I go to the pool and I do X amount in the pool and then get in the car and go out to Brighton and do X amount there. And I'm fine with that. I'm retired.
I love it.
I don't know that I don't see how I could get this done when I was working.
Right.
I barely trained from Manhattan and keep a job.
Right. Yeah. No, it's a hard feat to balance marathon swimming and working.
Yeah. I mean,
especially with pool restrictions, like it'd be one thing.
That would be, I would never have gotten that. But like one of the things I looked at before I went up to Joe Cassie was how much had I swam. And I had 100 miles in April and I have never swam that much in any month at any time. And it's not even peak. So it's one of the reasons I'm like, oh, you're gonna be fine. You got I'm getting the training done. So I kind of feel like that part I'm in good shape. I'm not going to go into this unless something happens in life. But as the plan looks and it continues like this, I'll go into it well trained.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's lots of other things that can, there's weather and feeds and water temperature. There's lots of other things that can help you or thwart you. But it's not. I'm not going into it being like, oh, do I think I have enough training? I think I have enough training.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of, I guess as a shift anyway, it's kind of nice to think, going from like all the pool, you've been doing 100 miles in April, to be going to somewhere where you're like, oh, I get to mix it up a little bit. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get in the yards or miles. And yeah, it's kind of fun.
And I like both. And if the pool's long course, like the pool I swam in today is long course, and it has a retractable roof. So like,
oh my gosh, I've seen pictures of that pool. It looks dreamy.
Yeah. You just have to wait till all the aerobic noodle ladies leave because they won't see the top. I don't know what temperature those women want it open, but we don't ever have it open till they're gone. I'm I'm not that far away from being a noodle lady. So I can't.
No judgment. Right.
But it's, all of a sudden you're swimming and you're in the middle of 1,000 and you hit the point and I don't even notice they've opened it, right? Until that point and the sun's there. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's another little pick me up.
Yeah, for sure. It's like this, it's like the sun rising. Well, it's a change of scenery, right?
Right. Exactly. Change of the pattern on the bottom of the pool. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's fun. Well, you'll miss that, I bet. That long course
Yeah.
pool.
But there's an outdoor long course pool in Freeport, New York.
Mm.
And I have to find out what their restrictions are going to look like. They may be unrestricted once they open the outdoor pool because New York's opening. So
Right. Yeah.
outdoors, I don't know why we'd have any restrictions, but we'll see.
Yeah. Fun. So you're embarking on all kinds of new adventures coming up.
Yeah. There's right. It's different waters and different swim friends. So it kind of breaks, I don't know. Yeah.
Keeps it interesting.
It does. It keeps it interesting.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the moment in Jocassee when you decided to throw in the towel. Have you spent time thinking about that? Like what it was? Like,
well, so first of all, let me just say that Brian, pushed back.
Okay, good. That's good to have a support person that's like, no.
You are swimming fine. You are fine. You are fine. And what happened is it was going to be a long bay to get back. And he had a double kayak.
Oh, you had an out. No wonder.
I had an out. And I'm not, I'm responsible for my own decisions. But yes, there was an easy out here.
Yeah, that's tough.
We're by the, we're close to shore. It's a double kayak, and there's a long bay that's probably not that long. It's probably 2.5 miles to get across. And we have to go back because we bought feeds for 4 hours. I was going to do 3 4-hour shifts. That was the go-in plan. And so in 4 hours, we're going to go back. Brian was going to continue to kayak, but we're going to flip out the feeds. And now I was just like, I'm not having fun. I mean, I just keep feeling like this thing's going to go again. And if we're in the middle of the lake, I'm not happy. And although Brian did, say, yes, I will get you back in the kayak. I can do this. I can do this. And I was like, I believe that you believe you can do this. But I'm also knowing like, for me, it literally feels like I'm drowning. I know it sounds dramatic, and it is, but I need to also figure out how to get myself off that ledge too.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the cramps are tricky. I'm not a cramper myself, but but the people that get them, it can be really debilitating for sure.
I have only had this happen to me once before in an open water. I have it happen in a pool a lot, to the point where I remember the first time it really happened in a pool, the lifeguard on duty started taking off his shirt. And I was like,
no.
I'm like, Leon, please. And I think I've been swimming like 2 years at that point. I'm like, I'm never going to live this down if I get rescued in the pool,
right.
At Chelsea Piers, right? And so I had it happen once before. I think it was either stage 3 or 4. Probably my guess is stage 4 because I swam those 2 back to back. It was my first time I ever tried 2 marathons. And so I'm going to guess it was stage 4. And it was so intense. I went to grab the kayak and then I pulled back. Like I realized, I was like, oh my God, if I touch the kayak.
Yeah.
The paddler, Alex, was just like, he's like, what's wrong? Because the look on your face, I'm sure, is just horrendous. Because I'm just like, I'm a happy little swimmer. And it probably just looks like, and I worked myself through it then, but I also have more problems with my feet and ankles than I did that was 4 or 5 years ago. So
what happened in that case? Like, how did you get through it, or did you get through it?
I did. Okay. I floated for a bit and kind of massaged it and worked on it, and then just decided I was going to swim with it and try and relax into it. So yeah, I know it can be done. It's just been a long time since it happened, and I'm going to need to work on it. I'm hopefully I can find whatever what I can put in my mouth to stop it in the moment.
Right,
And if I
right.
can do that, then I'll have confidence that if it happens to me, I can. I have a magic bullet.
A magic bullet, right? Yeah.
For lack of a better word.
Right. Even if it's a placebo magic bullet, whatever it takes. It's like it's fixing it.
Have a solution.
Yeah.
And yeah, it really comes down to like, it's either something I can put in my mouth to stop it or massaging. And I've been talking to different people, who have some of these problems. So I think I got some stuff to try, like I said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know a couple people said, taking the magnesium every night helps avoid it to start with. So I'm going to go on that for a bit and see how that works out.
Yeah.
Go shit against the wall.
In the moment, it was, you said mustard, and what was the other one?
There's a product you can buy called Hot Shots.
Okay. What is it?
No, it comes with a little shot.
Just magic hot shots. Okay.
I know. Paula Y has used these successfully for her cramps.
Okay.
So,
good.
They're someplace in Amazon land on their way to me. So yeah, you come back and you just start like ordering stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Right. The magic bullet.
I think it was not tapering. I don't think I was hydrating well. I think beforehand, I think maybe I kind of still feel like I probably didn't have my electrolytes, because it's not a problem I have in open water.
Yeah. Right.
I've had one other experience.
Yeah.
So I have to keep reminding myself this is not as big a problem as maybe it appears to be in this moment.
Right. Yeah. Right. What did coach say when you came back and said you did a 7-hour swim?
That was fine. She
didn't beat you over the head. Of course not.
I don't think Charlotte's ever beaten anyone, but
I don't think so either.
Because we were both on board. This was a training swing. This was to figure out how my body is handling this stuff. And so, yeah. And I don't know. As a general rule, I'm a good girl. You tell me to swim X, I swim X. So,
right.
This isn't like every week I'm like, oh, I couldn't get it done. Or
right.
I broke down. Wait, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
I'm pretty focused. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think another 10 miles would make a difference.
There's something about the pressure, right? I guess I was doing kind of a training swim this weekend and ended up cutting it short for a variety of reasons, but I just couldn't help but feel like, yes, I could have kept going, and if this was a boat that I paid for, and I said, you're like, then everything's different.
Yeah, I'm sort of funny about that. Like, I don't have a problem with that either. If I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have. Look, I'm gonna walk away from End Wet. Right. It's sunk cost. By the way, if anybody wants a spot for End Wet, they can have mine for nothing. Stella. She likes a good slugfest.
Yeah, not so much the cost. Like, there's something about like go time for me. Like, if it's a day of a swim, I can go.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
And so training swims don't feel like that.
They don't feel that same way at all. And maybe I need to change my approach so that they do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I had no problems being like, I got what I needed out of this.
Yeah.
And we so love this place for training that I think we're up to 5 cabins for next year.
Wow. Oh, wow. Awesome. What weekend is it? I have to put on my calendar.
5:15 to 5:20.
Okay.
To their own fun.
That's awesome.
Because they have, it was just, it was easy and it was nice. And I think the next day, my friend Sarah did a real swim on the books, 14 miles there.
Wow, awesome.
And yeah, and why was I saying this?
Because you were telling us how nice it was at Jocassee.
Yeah. Oh, I know why it was. There was I think, and so I was then in the double kayak being paddled by Brian. Observer taking notes. But,
That's great.
Yeah. I don't know if we saw more than 15 boats the entire time. And
wow.
We could have seen some of those boats twice.
Interesting.
I mean, it's May, it's midweek, but it's not an easy thing to find a lake in the south that has no gators and a limited amount of, fishing boats.
Right. Yeah. With waterfalls and everything. That's so amazing. Yeah. Did you guys go across and back then? Was that, or across?
Yeah, she went, yeah. She went to, in the name of the waterfall. She swam to a waterfall and back.
That's cool.
And so, yeah.
Very cool.
So it wasn't just about me either, which was nice. Like going to the cabin and stuff.
Yeah.
Steve Grunwald came and he did some training, got in some nice, long, coldish water.
Yeah. It's great. That's fun. I like this Camp Jocassee.
And cheap. I mean, you can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath cabin. I'm like little marketing here. 2-bath cabin, with fireplace and fire pit and big screened-in porch and just lovely. Wow. And it was, I think, $900.
Wow. And the facilities are close by for store, groceries, food, all that kind of stuff? No, that's okay. So you got to plan in advance. Bring everything you need.
It's carry-in. Okay. I think the closest, there's a little market probably 10, 15 minutes away. It's not bad, maybe 10 minutes.
Right.
Like a gas station market.
Yeah.
But a supermarket, good half hour, 35 minutes.
Right. It's good to know. For planning for
they provided like sheets and towels and all that stuff too. So
nice. It was like VRBO kind of thing.
It's a VRBO, right? You just show up.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome. Well, I love your update, Janine. Thank you for telling us about your journey to Tahoe Part 2. When should we catch up with you again?
I don't know. I guess maybe beforehand, but not too close beforehand.
Maybe after your longer, whatever you do, triple Willoughby or something, or whatever you decide to do.
That sounds good. Probably sometime in July, but at least more than a week before.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's gonna be awesome.
I know, but I get really I've learned that like I only need people who really like love me around me those 72 hours beforehand, because I can be bitchy. I get a little crazy. It's a little crazy. Yeah, I don't know how you all do it with like kids.
I'm learning the hard way that I just need to leave them behind. and I will say, I'll see you later. That's what I'm going to do this year for the time I spend at Tahoe, is like leave on Sunday.
Interview you? What are you doing?
I'm connecting some routes.
We can hardly wait to hear what that really means after it happens. That's fun.
Yeah. But I'll be there mid-July. You're into July, right?
Yeah.
We'll miss each other, unfortunately. But leaving the family behind is becoming super important. I don't know how I did the length with my kids and family and everybody there. That was bonkers.
Yeah.
But living and learning.
Yeah. Everybody who is like they're working, being part of this. I shouldn't say not everybody, because the Melinda and Danielle were new to me, but they're all swimmers. So there's something about that allows you to, maybe not be perfect in that moment as nice as you could be.
Right.
We all understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you nervous going into the training swim at all? No. Hmm.
No, it's a training swim. Even,
Okay.
I don't know, do I get nervous? I don't know if I get nervous anymore. I usually just kind of, say to myself, all right, this is what you've been training for and enjoy it. Like I'm really big on reminding myself to like enjoy it because and at the end of the day, I think for me at least, I think once I swum Manhattan, I I can be a little better. I'm a little more forgiving about my imperfections and sometimes my inability to finish or finish in a timely manner.
Mhm.
I think once that was the swim for me. I was like, okay, I got rid of that feeling that possibly I was an imposter.
Got it. Okay.
The nervous part, I'm like, I don't know. I gotta go in, swim as well as I can, and
Yeah.
but my goal in life is not to swim X. My goal in life is to be able to swim a 10K well into my 70s.
It's a great
Like,
goal.
I don't need to be fast, but a 10K on a fast current is something I hope to be able to do for many more years.
That's an awesome goal. I love that. Yeah, I think for me the nervousness comes more from like I don't know if it's the lack of preparation about really being able to think about things and get everything together. And then like in the moment of like we're about to start, I'm like, do I have everything? Or like, and then you have to go down the like critical. Okay, well I have a cap, I've got a swimsuit, I've got goggles, and someone has some food on board, so I'll probably be fine. Just start swimming.
Yeah, no, I can definitely, and that's one of the notes I also wrote to myself is my list skills have deteriorated since I stopped working.
Oh.
Ability to like make list, like one list, everything's on it, put the feeds out on a real schedule. Mine were a little loosey goosey, and it was fine because it wasn't like
This was a training swim.
training swim. But like when I came in when I was done, right? So I'm on the kayak, we go in, and Sarah's standing there with my feeds to flip for the next 4 hours. And for some reason, I tasted one of them and I was like, oh my God, this is like hot, hot. Right. And I was like, oh, you need to put in better, like pick a bottle, put the measurements in, this much goes hot water, this much like,
Yeah.
and what this is because she's never done hot feeds right herself, so she doesn't really know. And I think I said to her, I'm like, oh, baby bottle hot. Well, she doesn't have a baby. So maybe not the best description.
Right.
And it, and if I gotten out there with it, I would have poured some out and just thrown a little lake water in, and I would,
Right.
would have been fine. But yeah, there's some of those things that I could tighten up.
Yeah, but that's how did the warm feed test go? You had some different bottle types. Did you have a favorite?
The bottles were both fine. One of them I've used before, the Contigo. The Contigo was fine. And then I have some new ones from Amazon, which are also lovely, fine. They come with handle. The twist is easy. And they're insulated.
You're not going to lose.
So that's nice. And, the goose stay on them. That was at the pool with me today. But I have a new one that I'm going to try, that I tried. Oops, at the pool.
Oh, fun.
I saw somebody, Lisa, what's her last name? She's a West Coast swimmer. I don't think I actually know her, but I saw she did a swim with these, and I was like, those are interesting, but I may use this for electrolytes.
Yeah.
Because I can see it.
Yep. And they fold flat when you're done. I don't know, that looks pretty cool.
Has a little line here already, so maybe that's my line. I don't know. So I am thinking about using that one, but at the end of the day, I the bottles isn't what's going to make or break it either.
Yeah.
I can try and dial it in better, but
Yeah. You still got to put one arm in front of another all the way till you get to the other shore.
I found I like mango today. Mango electrolyte. That was good flavor.
Oh,
The piece is not super sweet, just kind of.
what brand electrolyte do you use?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been using, was it Nun?
Oh, Noon. Yeah.
Noon.
I call it Noon.
Like, I don't know how to pronounce it. N-U-N-N.
Yeah.
But the mango was Heed, fizzy.
Oh, okay.
And that was yummy.
Cool.
I tried the grapefruit also. Lovely. Yeah. I have like a pile of stuff from like either samples I've gotten or somebody's given, or I've picked it up and said, oh, so.
That's the best way to try them out. I feel like that's one of the harder parts of marathon swimming. It's like you need to get a sample pack so that you can try all the different ones. Otherwise, it's like you don't want to buy a whole canister of something that you might not like.
But even on this, like I'll take some stuff with me that I don't use day in and day out. Like I normally use chocolate flavored. But do I think for Tahoe I'll bring some, berry something or other. But yeah, I may not mix it. I'll just have the packages there. But at some point I may be like, oh my God, I'm going to puke if I eat any more chocolate.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think the best thing you can bring is options.
Options, absolutely. Totally agree. Because you never know what you're going to want in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, having crude a lot, I'm like, bring options. Bring your favorite candy bar. Even if you can't really feel like you're going to try. That was the bummer, though. I didn't get to try the mashed potatoes.
Oh,
no. I'm hoping to try the mashed potatoes. But
yeah.
I'm 99% sure that mashed potatoes will work.
My first 10 mile, I think I had mashed potatoes and like watered down orange juice because I'd read that that's what Captain Webb had. English Channel Crossing.
Like whiskey or something too.
Whiskey. I forgot to bring the whiskey, but
and especially for that lake, I think that whiskey is necessary.
It's super necessary. I think actually, come to think of it, it was Phil White relaying that information to me, so there's probably no accuracy there. But anyway, I tried mashed potatoes and orange juice on my first 10 mile in Lake Winnebago, and it worked great. I don't know why I didn't stick with the mashed potatoes. They don't travel that well. I guess if you maybe did the instant kind, just add water, but like getting potatoes, finding a pot to, when you're on the road, it's a little tricky.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
They do make just add water mashed potatoes though.
Right.
I know. It just doesn't sound the same, right? Like a couple lumps in it.
I think I would like, and if the house doesn't, the VRBO doesn't come with like the handheld mixer, I'm, for whatever, 15 or 20 bucks, I will probably buy one at Walmart and the house, right? So I'm also a big fan of that. I tested all my bottles for temperature, that they would hold the temperatures. Is that what you were asking me?
That's what I was asking about. Yeah. No.
I didn't understand that question.
Sorry.
Only one failed. No longer kept things hot. And so that's now been labeled cold only.
That's good though.
Yeah, but everything started at 200 degrees, and 12 hours later, they were all about 125 to 135.
Wow.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Because you're not using that water obviously straight up anyway. So, yes.
Yeah, I think the thing I was observing, at least on your Facebook thread, was like I have a really big 36 ounce vacuum, like hydro flask, but because it got open and closed, I think the cold air kept getting in there, and eventually it wasn't that warm of a feed when I was 10 hours into my swim. So like when I thought about it more, it's like, oh, okay, having multiple hot water vessels, that you're using, I don't know, just versus one. I thought it was interesting to start thinking about that.
You never want a single point of failure.
No, right.
Like you always need like a backup. The thing that I bought that I think is going to really be the best thing, and because I've seen some like ultra marathoner use it, is the hot pot, is the air pot. The thing that you just push the top and like water, so you're not opening and closing it, and it holds a lot, and it's easy for somebody on a boat to get the water into your drinking
That
well.
sounds amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. That's a Jamie Monahan.
Trick.
Let's credit Jamie Monahan because she's swimming wherever in the world, and
Right.
sometimes the boat has heating facilities, sometimes it doesn't.
So like
And
the coffee pot that has the top that you press down to
hold for 1 second.
okay, of course. This is good info. Yep, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. The coffee, yep.
It's,
Perfect. It's a
and
dispenser. That's what you need.
yes. And this one is 64 ounces. They make a really big, they make one that's much bigger too than this, but I decided I would,
64 is a good
and if
number.
it's not enough, I would just have two 64s to your point.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Right.
I have some equipment to get into. I've been surprised this season though. I've been doing really good in low 60s even with like comfort, temperature wise. I'm not even having warm feeds, but that's I don't know, probably my extra insulation that I've got going on this year. But
Outside to COVID. Yeah.
But it's just been interesting. It's just an interesting thing. Like where 60s would have been something I feared in the past. Just kind of growing into it now, it feels really good. Like that veil of kind of cold over your body while you're swimming. I'm like, this is nice.
Yeah, it makes you, your muscles don't get as sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 65. I'm good at, like I said, I can be happy at 63 with a little sun on my back.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I don't see me in the 50s. I don't see the 50s.
Yeah.
And that's, we
That's
all
okay.
have different lines.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much, Janine, for your time. It's been awesome to hear about your preparations. I'm excited to catch up with you again.
Me too.
I hope you enjoyed today's interview. Do you want to take Marathon Swim Stories with you? Subscribe on your favorite podcast provider. Want to connect with like-minded limit pushers? Join us for Marathon Swim Stories live on Tuesdays at 5:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, 13:30 GMT. Thanks for watching.